My name is Dustin DeMauro. Along with Thomas Donnelly and John V. Sonny, we represent Team 8. The industry we've selected is the educational services industry pertaining to colleges and universities. Our presentation is on the University of Phoenix and how IT-enabled transformation can be accomplished with the help of your funding and support. I would like to get started with explaining what a for-profit university is. They are higher educational systems owned and operated by publicly traded for-profit corporations. Some of the main products of for-profit universities can be categorized as certifications, associate's courses, bachelor's courses, master's courses, and doctorate courses. Education has always been taught for a profit, from tutors in the ancient world to clergymen offer training in subjects not covered in early American universities. In the business canvas model, you'll notice key partners include community colleges, community partnerships. Some of the key activities are the learning formats, some key resources are instructors, professors, students, administration services, some of the value propositions, online education, on-campus education, some customer relationships, advising services, tutoring, some customer segments, veterans, students, channels, online education, on-campus locations, cost structure, paying staff for travel, education fairs, revenue streams, military educational benefits, investment income, and government funding. The proposed transformation we are looking at is to help remedy some of the major issues that the university has been recently experiencing. Issues such as low graduation rates, high student debt, and low salaries upon graduation. To do this, we are looking at partnering with companies to provide programs for them to staff their organizations with highly trained, motivated individuals. The transformation is to partner with corporations to fund student tuition programs based on a selection criterion. How? By creating a distinct program where only a selected few can gain admission and where tuition is free after the first year. Strict admission requirements will make it more appealing. Employment guaranteed on graduation. We're going to partner education with corporations. Employee solutions. We're going to match employee needs with our degrees being offered. We're going to create the program based on human capital needs. The beginning of our as-is to-be process looks fairly similar. The process starts with students applying to the university and being accepted. One change, however, is that the university will be asking the students if they're interested at submitting their personal and grade information for the consideration of companies looking to employ them as interns and pay for the subsequent years of college needed for their programs after the first year. This seems obvious, however. It gives us the ability to retain, utilize, and share their information with corporations. From the first year, it's pretty much the same, with accruing student loan, working for a living, and additional educational expenses. Completing the first year and receiving their grades on completion of this first year is where the process changes. Usually, the student would have been accruing additional student debt, working for their additional expenses. This debt amount has been steadily increasing and becoming increasingly prohibitive for student payback, accruing a high degree of default on student loans. Instead, the university collects all of the first-year data, combines it with their previous historic and personal data, such as test scores, interests, and even down to the how they responded on different questions. This information is then matched through our IT transformation with corporate needs. The corporation then offers the picked students the opportunity to join their tuition-paid programs as an intern with their companies. Pays for the tuition, enters them into an intern program, has them start work as an intern for the company, and they make a better salary than they would have made otherwise. The change in their year 2 and onward studies includes them being able to study and take classes while working, sometimes from the company facilities, but all while earning an intern salary. The alternative is the sad student on the screen, dealing with increased debt, working long hours, along with school, and uncertain of his future. Here we have the clearest distinction in the as-is to-be. The non-intern student has a great amount of uncertainty on graduation, currently with a higher rate of student loan default than a graduation rate at the university. Here we have the clearest distinction in the as-is to-be. The non-intern student has a great amount of uncertainty on graduation, currently with a higher rate of student loan default than graduation rate at the university. Even if they do graduate, they now need to face the high amount of student debt they have incurred and no certainty of being able to find a job. The intern, on the other hand, has secured his start at a good future, utilizing his skills with the company that funded his tuition and looking forward towards the future. The non-intern now must compete in the job market. Statistics show that seldom does the graduate enter the career field that he was trained in, if at all, and he has to accept a substandard salary for an individual who just earned his college degree. The intern's future is secure. They have a job which should now include a pay raise and a salary of a working professional with a sought-after skill and a degree. Here we have our implementation timeline and milestones. We are looking to be completed with our IT-enabled transformation and have tangible results within 24 months. You can see the different milestones we have laid out, starting with partnering with corporations in the contract phase, all the way to the capturing of critical statistics to show how our initiative has been successful. Here is a slide of our proposed technology. The proposed technology and architecture is to build a robust platform that organizes and distributes student information to potential employers. We'll be taking data captured in a digital format from students and displaying it with visual analytics. The purpose of the proposed technology is to help companies make better decisions and discover traits associated with successful pairing of students and employers. The University of Phoenix has already built a classroom system for capturing student attendance, academic records, grades, profiles, and behaviors. We'll be able to use this existing infrastructure for our proposed transformation. The ability to track student data has already been constructed and made operational. We'll be adding additional functionality to this existing architecture and creating a delivery platform. The two software necessities for our proposed transformation is the software required for capturing student information and the software mandatory for delivering this data. The University of Phoenix has already acquired most of the infrastructure needed for the proposed transformation. They already have 3 data centers that we can use. Aperture Vista is already providing the infrastructure resource management, such as power and cooling for these data centers. We propose implementing 2 choices of virtual machines, either Amazon EC2 or VMware's vCloud suite. For the physical data center, we suggest using vBlocks from VMware. vBlocks are racks of Cisco Blade servers preloaded with VM virtualization. We also propose using MongoDB to house and query the data. A hardware-based VPN device will connect the data center to the private cloud computing. Why we chose a hybrid system of cloud computing and physical data center is the advantage of being able to resize at any time on business needs without waiting for hardware. In addition, being able to add resources such as computing power can be added at any time. Skills development and training. The software vendors will train the IT team how to keep the system updated, make changes, and who to contact for troubleshooting. Database vendors and the University of Phoenix IT management will train the data management team. The University of Phoenix will take care of the software and the system implementation and maintain and train their IT team with the help of the vendors. The University of Phoenix at their Phoenix location will train 3 super users for the companies. After system setup, company/employer will place their data into the software. For initial training on how to use software, the details about information goes into the software and will be given to the employee at the University of Phoenix location. School HR staff will make arrangements, hotel, flight, accommodation from and to the hotel to the University of Phoenix location, and from the airport to hotel. 3 super users will train before the program year starts. These 3 super users will go back to their companies and will train the other employees. Every 3 years, any 3 employees will get an opportunity to get trained. Training material will be provided to super users by the University of Phoenix with copyrights which they can use to train other employees. There will be a checklist and a document to sign by the trainer and the end of the training session. During the first year, companies/employer will maintain their database through the software. Super users will be trained how to enter students' progresses every week during the school year. University of Phoenix will have a 1 credit pass or fail class 3 times a year during the first year. Students will be trained by IT instructor on how to use the software, maintain the database, and importance of the information. HR team at the company and university will educate, train, and document their student and employee on how to follow privacy and confidentiality policy. This slide shows our projected project costs and project revenue. You will note that during the first year we expect a total fixed cost of $76K with a recurring cost each year of $343K. For our project revenues, we are looking at a one-time revenue for setting up new employers of $30K with additional recurring annual revenues of $438K. Here's our scenario financial analysis. The assumption we are making for our most likely pessimistic and optimistic scenarios are listed in the light blue areas of this slide. Our major assumption is that we are striving for partnerships with corporations to create at least 7 classes, with projections for as high as 9 classes. The slide shows the range of estimated totals profit over the 5-year evaluation period to range from the low of $174K to a high of nearly $500,000. Our internal rate of return ranges from a pessimistic estimate of negative 21% to an optimistic estimate of 5%. Finally, our net present value ranges from a pessimistic low of $142K to an optimistic high of $343K. Economist and business consultant Peter Drucker once said, "If you can't measure it, you can't manage it." It will be critical to the success of the project to not only be able to measure its timeliness and effectiveness, but also maintain accurate monitoring of these measures through the project. Microsoft Project will be utilized to track the baseline tasks and the milestones of the project to the project schedule. Dashboard reporting of these milestones will be available to the project stakeholders to track the progress towards our goals. The early projected net present value, internal rate of return, project costs, and revenue will be monitored and reported quarterly to an executive steering and governance team that will be informed for the project. Additional metrics are to be captured, measured, and monitored to report on revenues and numbers of companies and students enrolled. 3 of the main goals and objectives of this project will be captured, measured, and monitored to track the decrease in our student loan default rate and increase in their graduation job placement rates. Monitoring the project performance also means being able to pull the plug if deemed necessary. The executive steering and governance teams will be tasked with monitoring and making decisions on how well the project is progressing towards its measures and if the project needs to be discontinued. Extenuating factors, risks, will need to be taken into account that may either positively or negatively impact the project. The mitigation of these risks will affect the final decision on which are severe enough to pull the plug. Among these are the effects of monitoring cost, revenues, internal rate of return, net and total profit, and schedule milestones. A risk register will need to be established that will reflect the risk tolerance and the project has to each of these risks and the result mitigation needed. In addition, the monitoring of how well this project is rebuilding the public and government trust in the University of Phoenix will be measured. This relates to the lowering of the amount of the student loan debt and the default of its students, while increasing its graduation and job placement rates. The overall rating the corporations give the program and its results and proliferation to other companies will be a prime factor in continuing the program. In summary, our team has found that the for-profit industry is still favorable to profitability and that the University of Phoenix can greatly benefit from an IT-enabled transformation. The profitability of this program will be greatly enhanced by its ability to rebuild both its reputation and student enrollment by partnering with interested companies. We request you please provide your utmost discernment and consideration to our request for funding.